Hello, my fellow humans, and welcome back to another daily dice where we ask the dice for a message and find out what that is. I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and space with you. And for anybody new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. Should these messages happen to resonate with you, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe down below. If you are truly new here, this is that reminder that we do things a lot differently around here. So I suggest strapping in, hanging on, and you and I are going to find out together. Today we are getting the message from your inner child that you need. We're using Healing the Inner Child Oracle by Nina Mangendre. I love this oracle deck. It's so beautiful. So, what is the message my fellow humans need from their inner child today? What is the message that my fellow humans need from their inner child? What's the message that my fellow humans need from their inner child? Okay, thank you. What is the message my fellow humans need from their inner child? Alright, Source, what is the message that my fellow humans need from their inner child today? What is the message? Alright. Thank you. On the bottom, we've got fear. Overcoming the darkness. Realizing that what we're not seeing or what we are afraid of that we can't see, it's actually not that big of a deal, right? It was a big deal because it felt like a huge deal for a long time, but we're seeing now that it's not as big as our mind made it out to be. So we're facing that part of that fear within us. But this is what your inner child wants you to know. This is the message that your inner child are trying to get to you, is that your fear, oh, look at this. Look at this. Your fear has been playing havoc with your alchemy. And look at these. How do we know that this isn't the same creature as this, right? They're shaped the same, but because it's in the dark, we're not seeing it clearly. So our mind is playing tricks on us. And so right now, in order to manifest what we're reaching for, what we're looking for, right, we have to face that part of ourselves, the unknown that we didn't want to face within, or the part of ourselves that we buried, that we were like, that's never coming to light again. It's not necessarily about unpacking it as much as it is experiencing those emotions to go through it, right? That's how we let go. We have to go through those emotions. So what is the message that my fellow human's inner child has been trying to get to them? What is the message that my fellow human's inner child has for them right now? Yeah, so this has to do with what you're identifying with the first house. We've got the moon and Gemini here. So you could be an Aries, a Gemini, or a Cancer. You could have Aries moon, Cancer moon, Gemini moon. I heard Mercury and Aries. Okay. Okay, we're going to go with it. Yeah, so this has to do with what you're identifying with. There's something here that you're identifying with that maybe you're not being as honest with yourself as you could have been, or that you should be, right? And coulda, shoulda, woulda, right? At the end of the day, we have to make that choice for ourselves. But you're not seeing just how adaptable you are. And it feels like here it's just allowing yourself to be curious about those deep hidden emotions with the moon here. Are you going to let yourself be curious? Are you going to let yourself dive deep? Are you going to let yourself go into the unconscious and see what it is that you need? What is your emotional habits? What do you need to help yourself heal? What do you need to help yourself be nurtured? Right? Also coming back home, like that's something that's coming in really strongly. Like coming back home to yourself and allowing that to blossom and allowing that to grow here. And not identifying so much with what that means and what the outcome should look like. Rather, just being open and curious to how that's going to play out. Like your inner child wants you to come back home, but also wants you to let go of expectations and wants you to let go of feeling like things have to be XYZ but rather opening up to the wonderment of life and letting that flood in for you. So, but with the first house, it does feel like you're identifying with something that the inner child wants you to come to terms with, that that's maybe not how it is for you, and that's okay. All right, we're going to use my original deck here today. So, what is the message that your inner child wants you to know? What is the message that your inner child wants you to know? Could have something to do with family. Feeling unlucky with family. Feeling like you're never going to have the romance or the love that you want in your life. Feeling like because of your past, yeah, something definitely to do with family here. Because of your past, you're never going to be able to experience the things that you want to experience. Your inner child is telling you that's stifling, and that we've lost that feeling of magic. We want to come back to that feeling of magic. That's how we come back home, is remembering that if we're letting our fear lead us, right? And I feel like this wants to be out. If we're letting our fear lead us, we're no longer in that state of manifestation or alchemy, if you will. Yeah, there's a repression of energy here with the Strength in the reverse. Okay. And the Six of Wands on the bottom of the deck. Building stronger alliances may have eluded you for some time because of past fears, because of fear of someone breaking your heart, fear of someone trying to steal your ideas, fear of someone trying to pull one over on you. And repressing those emotions has been playing a part in how you're connecting with people. And the only way that we can really go through that at times is to let ourselves be vulnerable and to trust that, yes, maybe this person has everything in their power to really, really hurt me, but I've come so far that that's not how it's going to be anymore, because I've healed those parts of myself. And knowing that is healing in and of itself, because it's reminding us how strong we have become through that. But here with the Strength in reverse, we see that there's a repression of the past here, and we see with the fear coming out, it is guiding you to this fear. There's a repression of a fear here, and that fear could be literally connecting with someone new, or literally it could be moving on to the next step because it's the unknown. What do I do moving forward? How am I going to do this? How am I going to make that journey? Yeah, the Chariot in the reverse. It's interesting because I feel confused right now. And I feel like for you, that's what you've been feeling a lot of, is confusion lately. I'm confused, and the fear's been making you feel confused. And your inner child wants you to know that the only way to overcome that is to dig deeper and to understand, where does that come from? What does that confusion do for me as well? Maybe putting it into words or speaking it out loud. Like, is the confusion helping you? And obviously the answer would be no, right? But maybe it's yes. And, understanding that, digging deeper into that. Okay, if it's helping me, what is it helping me with? And then digging deeper into that. Okay, well, if it's this, then what is that helping me with? And I feel like that's what your inner child is wanting you to do. But it's interesting because the confusion is very, very heavy. It's a very heavy feeling right now. But there's also this energy, especially with the Chariot, right? Yes, we have like spiritual defeat, but we also have this losing touch with people and reality, emotional closure, right? Confusion about one's goals, not knowing, that's why I keep feeling this confusion. It's coming and it's so strong. And there's a lot of internal conflict here, an unrealistic assessment of where you're at, which might be leading to failure because of trying to control situations. Like, I don't want to get hurt, so I'm going to try my best to control the situation, right? The fear, that's all fear. This is pointing out the fear. So your inner child is trying to point out the fear for you here. Okay, being honest with yourself is something that is so necessary, but you're identifying with this energy of maybe the story is no one can ever be my friend because no one's ever been my friend. And I have had this weird sensation go from my third eye all the way up to my crown and back down my skull towards my back. That was such an intense feeling. Ooh, that was weird. So that tells me I'm like hitting it on the head, this identity of I'm not deserving of friends. I'm not deserving of nice people in my life. I'm not deserving of, having people who are in my corner. I'm not deserving of love in my life because I've never had that. And so that has been the thing. The fear has come to the forefront, and your inner child wants you to know that this fear does not have to be what controls you. It can be there, but to have courage in spite of our fear. Can you stand up in courage and say, even though I'm scared, I'm going to choose to be vulnerable with people who I feel like I align with, because otherwise I'm never going to know what it is to have a close friend, right? There's no, I'm going to be afraid and I'm not going to connect with people and I'm still going to somehow find my tribe, right? That is not how it works. If it were, wow, that would be awesome, I guess. But that's just not how it works. We have to do the thing that we're most afraid of. And I don't remember who said that. There's a quote out there. It says, the more something scares me, the more I know I have to do it. And I feel like this is just connecting with others. And that's going to be the most healing thing for you. And that's what your inner child has been trying to tell you, or really wants you to know at this moment. This is how you're going to come into that alchemical energy where you'll manifest what it is that you want. It comes from you connecting with others and reminding yourself that you're worthy of having loving relationships in your life. This is also a part of your destiny. This is a part of your purpose. Structure, discipline, life mission, accomplishments, and career. House 10. Also, I feel like this is pointing towards not just putting all your time, energy, and effort into work, but also finding space to do other fun things. Square came out, turn a corner, and fixed. Keep on keeping on. Yeah, so there is a challenge here, but you will overcome it. Okay. And then we've got Imum Coeli. Yeah, Imum Coeli with make peace with the past. Wow. That's really telling. I told you that's that energy that's coming in, is making peace with what has once happened. You can't change it. Maybe there were a lot of unhealed people in your life, but the difference is that now you're healed. And so you're the common denominator here. Right? And the only way to overcome your fear is for you to face that which scares you most. Now, it's not about putting yourself in danger. That's not what this is. This is literally about saying, like, if I'm afraid to talk to people, then I'm going to challenge myself to talk to someone new every day. Then in a week's time, it's going to feel way less scary. And in a year's time, imagine, it won't even be a big deal to you anymore. And you'll realize that fear was it was an illusion. Hunger. Yeah. You want more. Like with this hunger card, you definitely want more, but you're afraid to go and get it right now because this has been keeping you isolated, it feels like. Okay. On the bottom, look, I cannot make this up. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. We've got friendship here. I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. You're gonna have to let yourself be seen. People aren't just gonna come into your life and know who you are, right? You have to talk to them. You have to open up to them. That's the only way to get to know people, to build a connection. Saturn, look, it's gonna be hard. Feeling restricted, experiencing struggle, learning hard work and patience. Yes, this is gonna be hard, but it's also gonna be extremely rewarding when you challenge yourself to do it. Water, let the feelings flow. What was I saying earlier? We have to sit with the emotions, and that's how we let them go. We have to go through the emotions to let them go. It's not necessarily about unpacking the past. This doesn't even have to be you going back and saying like, oh, well, Samantha did this to me, and Jimmy did that, and Erica was like this, and Tamira was like that. Like, it doesn't have to be like that. Okay, it could just be like, I have a really hard time trusting people because I was hurt so many times. And I feel, and whatever that feeling is, sit with that. And know that it's okay that you feel that way. But also know that that doesn't have to be the thing that keeps you from moving forward. We're trying to bring you into this space of peace. So your inner child wants you to find peace with the past. Make peace with the past. Right? So your inner child wants you to make peace with the past. We have empathy. I'm open to seeing both sides of a situation. This one's a hard one, right? Because it's easy to be an empath. And becoming an empath is like a survival skill that we learned. It's like learning to read the room so that we can protect ourselves from bad energy. But to be in a state of empathy is a challenge for an empath, because it means that we have to also see the other side of the coin. It means that we have to see the side of the coin that maybe we don't agree with. Right? So yeah, you were hurt, but maybe these other people who hurt you were also hurt, and that's why they hurt you. Does that mean that it's okay, or that that's a free pass? No, that's not what that means. But when you open yourself up to seeing both sides of the situation, that in and of itself allows healing in as well, because now you're not so focused on just how you're seeing it through your eyes. You're seeing that this is basically how the world is. Hurt people are going to hurt people, but it also means that healed people help heal people, right? So that's what your inner child really has been trying to tell you at this time. Let's see what this card is. I'm going to read this one from the book. Look at that, coming home. Look at this, and all the friends on these little bubbles or balls or whatever, right? So it's like your inner child is trying to guide you back to connection. Connection with someone, connection with other people, which is scary. It is scary, right? Because it means you have to give yourself... Look, isn't that interesting? This came out, and this was on the bottom. This flew out of the deck. We have 12 and 13 coming out together. So this is how you make progress. Okay, number 13. It says, returning to the universal mother is the most profound way to heal our sense of shame. We return to her through opening up to her ever-present love. The unconditional love of the divine feminine principle of Mother Earth and of the elements that make up our body welcomes us home without judgment. The Divine Mother is the feminine aspect of creation, and she is known by many names: Mother Mary, Kali, Durga, and Shakti, to name a few. This goddess principle has always been here for us. When we see everything as a manifestation of the Mother, we experience enlightenment and joy. And let me pause there for just a second, because what if you were to look at the situation as a mother for both you and for this person or these people who hurt you? If you were to come in from a mother's sense, what would that look like for you? Easier said than done, I know, but it's something to ponder. It says, when we see everything, okay, as Ram Dass writes in Be Love Now, in the compassionate embrace of the mother, the layers of old habits, preconceptions, and residues of past experiences can be dissolved. Make peace with the past. In the ocean of maternal affection, the blue sky is her mind, the green leaves pulse with her blood, and the wind is her breath, the rain her water of life. She is Gaia, the Earth Mother, but also subtler than that. Our cosmic mother reminds us of our inherent goodness and value. She invites us to release the shame we've been carrying for generations. This card invites you to remember her support is unfailing. As a child, did you feel a connection to loving motherly presence? How did you experience this and nurture it? And that's interesting too, because behind alchemy, right, is the mother card. So we're talking about the mother wound, and your inner child is making this very clear. This has to do with the mother wound. This is a very clear message about the mother wound, the fears that derived from the mother wound. It says, did you enjoy being in nature or being with animals? Did you sense the unspoken language of your divine mother? Tell your little one, our divine mother supports us and loves us always. We are held in her loving embrace. Imagine the universal mother welcoming you home with open arms, the same mother to whom all mothers return. Imagine yourself as one of the children traveling on the sphere. Do you sense that you are traveling outward or inward toward the female figure? How does it feel to be on this journey? Do you trust her? I invite you to lean back in your seat or lie down, close your eyes, and place one hand at your center of your chest and one hand right below your belly button. Imagine dropping your heart toward the earth. Feel the earth holding your body, soften into its loving embrace. Sense the rhythm of Mother Earth and invite your heartbeat to synchronize with it. Take your time to connect with her heartbeat. Once your own heart is in resonance with the slow and steady beat of the heart of Mother Earth, invite the steady rhythm into your belly, adrenal glands, and kidneys through the hands placed above your navel. Continue for a few minutes. As you breathe, remind your body, mind, and nervous system that in this moment you are safe. Gravity is holding you. Try doing this practice as you fall asleep. It is a powerful way of resetting the fight or flight response and the transitioning into a calm and restful state. And the fear is what ignites the fight or flight. So we see here that the mother wound is at play here, feeling like you can't connect with other people. Maybe your mother wasn't that loving towards you. Maybe she wasn't able to connect with you on a deeper level. But as you face that part of yourself and heal the mother wound and begin to nurture yourself and let go of identifying with, I had a terrible experience, we can choose to repaint our past. And it's not seeing it through eyes, it's not seeing it through rose-colored glasses. What it's saying is that I choose to see the positives as my past instead of the negatives. So if you didn't have a very loving mother, maybe you had somebody in your life who was loving towards you, and focusing on that and that alone and using that to help you begin to make peace with the past and repaint. You know what? Maybe my mother wasn't for me, but I had a teacher who was for me, and that was a blessing. Or I had a friend who was for me, and maybe you did get hurt by people in the past, but there are still good experiences there that are being muddied by the bad experiences, right? So that's what your inner child wants you to know right now. This is what I have for you here. If you felt like this was your reading, leave the little earth emoji down below. Say, I allow Mother Earth to support my journey and to ground me into this moment, knowing that I am secure, safe, supported, and I am so loved as I am. And if it resonates with you, it would mean so much if you were to like, comment, and subscribe down below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, check out the description box. It has everything you need, including how to reach me for a personal reading, as well as how to join as a member here on the channel. And with that, I do want to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this incredibly powerful reading. And until next time, stay human. Bye.